Hey everyone, Merry Christmas. I know, I know, it's the holidays. But some of us, well, we just can't help but think about ways to level up in the new year.
Always got to be learning.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So today, we're taking a deep dive into this really interesting piece someone sent us called, get this, 9 Work Techniques to Outperform 99% of Others.
Catchy title.
Right. I mean, who wouldn't want to outperform like almost everyone? So we're going to break down these 9 techniques, figure out what they're all about, and see what we can all take away from it.
Sounds good to me.
Cool. So the great thing about these techniques, and we'll get into this more, is that they're not specific to any one field or industry.
Yeah. No matter what you do, there's something in here for you.
Totally. Okay, so technique number 1. It's called Horenso.
Horenso.
Yeah, I know it sounds like some kind of new, trendy exercise class, but I'm pretty sure it's not.
You're right. It's not about fitness. It's a Japanese principle that stands for report, contact, consult.
Report, contact, consult.
It's basically a communication framework. Super simple, but powerful.
Okay, so walk me through this. How does this Horenso thing actually work in, like, a real job?
Sure. So let's say you're working on a new feature for a website.
Okay.
With Horenso, you would constantly report your progress to, say, the project manager.
Makes sense.
You'd also contact the marketing team, get their input on the user experience, and then before you finalize anything, you'd consult with the developers.
Yeah, everyone's in the loop.
Exactly. Everyone's informed, everyone's on the same page, and you can catch any problems early on.
That's so smart. So instead of, like, just doing your own thing and hoping for the best, you're getting everyone involved from the beginning.
Exactly. It's all about preventing issues before they become big problems.
I like that. Preemptive problem solving.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving on, techniques 2 through 5, they seem to all be about, like, clear communication and getting stuff done quickly.
Yeah, it's about efficiency, respecting everyone's time, and making sure your message is crystal clear.
No one likes wading through a novel of an email, right?
Exactly. So think concise emails, subject lines that actually tell you what the email's about, and my favorite, bullet point reports.
Oh, bullet points. I love a good bullet point list.
Who doesn't? And this all comes back to the KISS principle.
Hmm?
Keep it short and simple, whether you're writing, presenting, anything, really.
KISS? I like that. And honestly, that's good advice for life in general, right? Keep it simple.
Absolutely.
Sometimes I try to overcomplicate things, and really, simple is better. Okay, so technique number 6, this one's about prioritization. And I think we all struggle with this,
Well,
right?
yeah, feeling overwhelmed, it happens. But prioritization is key. Figuring out what really matters and, tackling those most important tasks first.
Prioritizing. Easier said than done. Any tips for actually doing that?
Well, there are frameworks, like the Eisenhower matrix. Have you heard of that one?
Vaguely.
So basically, it helps you categorize tasks based on urgency and importance. Is it urgent and important or just urgent?
Okay.
So, for example, let's say you have a report that's due, a team meeting, and a ton of emails.
Sounds familiar.
Right. The Eisenhower matrix helps you see that, okay, the report that's both urgent and important, that's got to be done first.
Got it. So it's a way to, like, visualize your to-do list and make sure you're focusing on the right things.
Exactly.
Love it. Okay, technique number 7, aim for double wins.
Double wins, that's a good one.
It sounds fun. Like, what does that even mean?
So it's all about being efficient. Think about it. Can you do a task in a way that actually accomplishes 2 goals at once?
Ooh, I like that. Multitasking, but strategic multitasking.
Exactly. So for example, let's say you need to catch up with a colleague,
Okay,
but you also want to learn more about this new project.
right.
Well, schedule a lunch meeting. You're catching up and learning at the same time.
2 birds, 1 stone. Okay, I'm into this double win concept.
It's a good word.
All right, technique number 8. This one kind of blew my mind. Teach others to improve yourself.
That one's a bit counterintuitive.
Right, like how does teaching someone else make me better at something?
So think about it. When you have to teach something, you have to break it down right.
Yeah.
Explain it in a way that makes sense to someone else. And that process, that forces you to really understand it yourself. Solidifies your own knowledge.
It's like you have to know it inside and out.
Exactly. And it helps you figure out where maybe you have some gaps in your knowledge.
I actually had this happen recently. I had to train a new team member. And in explaining our whole process to him, I realized there was a bottleneck that I hadn't even noticed before.
See, you learned something by teaching.
Exactly. Okay, last one, technique number 9. Revisit the basics when faced with tough problems. This one sounds kind of deep.
It is. It's about remembering that sometimes when we're struggling, we overcomplicate things.
We get in our own heads.
Exactly. And this technique, it reminds us to go back to the fundamentals, the basics.
Back to square one.
So let's say you're a programmer, right? And you're working on this really complex code. And you're stuck. You're hitting a wall. Sometimes the answer is to go back to the core principles of the programming language, like revisiting the basics can spark that solution.
It's, when you're cooking and you totally mess up a recipe, sometimes you just have to reread the instructions,
Right. The answer is often simpler than we think. Okay, so out of these 9 techniques, any that particularly resonate with you?
I think they're all super helpful, but the one that really jumped out at me was that Horenso thing.
Interesting.
Yeah. It seems so simple, but I can see how powerful it could be, getting everyone on the same page, preventing those big problems down the road.
It's a great framework.
What about you? Which one are you thinking about?
I think aim for double wins really speaks to me.
Ooh, I like that one too.
It's a good reminder to, be strategic in everything we do, look for those opportunities to maximize our efforts.
Totally. Well, that's about it for our deep dive into these 9 work techniques. Thanks for listening, everyone, and happy holidays. We want to hear from you. Which of these techniques are you going to try out in the new year?
Let us know.
And be sure to check out our other deep dives for more insightful discussions just like this one. See you next time.